Once they'd come up with some possible project areas, they then did what for Ella and I actually both I think is our favorite time, where they did a lot of experimenting, where we said just go right now. We have a corner full of supplies, including like old egg cartons and just Velcro strips bandages and all sorts of things. And we said go take a bunch of things off the shelf, make some quick experiments is the word we use. And go to the place where somebody would be using, your community partner would be using this, and have your community partner try it out and see what you can learn. And
this oxygen tubing gets tangled and kinked in the home, and so we have a retractable tubing idea. And then there's a self-coiling tubing idea, so it's a video of her walking with a coil that we made. Hadley's showing a sketch model where it would have an elastic in the coil. And then Linda is walking around with the coil and testing if it was in the way, and she says, it doesn't retract itself. So, and then it falls down in a funny way and she laughs. And now we watch it get closed in a door, and so we have to think about, well, what happens with doors and other obstacles?
So we also did a lot of experimentation based on Margie's principles and things she wanted to have fixed around the house. One of the first early problems she mentioned was cleaning her bathtub and really having to exert herself forward into the bathtub to like really clean it. We got one of the lightweight arm grabbers. It's made of a really light aluminum. And then we just attached this pillow cleaning thing.
I saw that they had a reacher that's intended for people grabbing things off high shelves, but they then added a pad that's for a wheelchair. Just see what you can learn by putting something in front of people and having them use it, rather than go through some big long process where you design something that actually was the wrong thing to design in the first place. So a lot of that fun experimenting happened this phase.
One of the experiments we did with the walking was to test which height would be good for her. So I essentially pretended that my arms were her walker handles, and we kind of just moved my arms up and down to see which was the best height for her to use.
And one of the partners' teams experimented with her bodies to see what height she would need arm support at for her walker. That was fantastic, right? The more learning you can get for the least time and energy is absolutely what this is about. And so that was just as fantastic as using found objects or simple things that you can make.
So we tested like 6-7 ideas. One of them was vibration with smartphone. Another one was color-coded sticky notes to simulate the color-coded light alert system we mentioned. We used 2 smartphones to amplify sound.
This design review was at the moment where they've been exploring and experimenting with 3 projects. And at the end of the review, through the work that they did on it, as well as feedback they got from their partner, from other partners, from us, and from their own kind of intuition, they need to pick which project they're going to work on.
Another project we are interested in is a better bag for her oxygen.
This phase is challenging for students because I think they're rarely asked to experiment at this really early stage. They haven't picked their project yet. And the focus of it is the learning as opposed to the making. And when we mean learning about, obviously, which project area would we go about and which one should we pursue, but more actually just fundamental observations about the person, more, understanding their principles even better.
That example with the man who is deaf was a sign that said, make sure I know you're talking to me if you want to communicate with me. Something like that. They proposed a t-shirt or a sign that might say that. And he said, no, I would rather a sign that said, ask me about my cochlear implant. Those are very different.
The device that you've got in your hand there, is that to be while Mary Lee's walking?
One of her concerns is that she is really nervous and scared to walk by herself, so she's very anxious about that, and she always asks for someone to be behind her supporting her. So one of the things we're thinking of is ways to make her walker feel more secure for her, so that we can reduce that anxiety as much as possible. And we thought that having her entire forearm on the walker to grip on it would feel a lot more secure than just holding with her hands.
This was a design review where we had all the students and the community partners who the students are designing for. Then we have a set of community partners who are review partners, and they were there playing a really important role of listening to the presentations, and asking questions, going up afterwards, having conversations.
Now that we were able to present it to a bigger community of people who use walkers and different like canes and different methods to help them be mobile, it was very interesting. It was eye-opening to see like all the different problems that occurred to people. Like, can we get the walker upstairs?